I
He signed contracts he didn't fully understand, trusted the wrong people, and by the time the truth hit him, the money was gone and the trap was already closed. This is the story of Offset, Wack 100, and millions of dollars that don't add up. Somebody isn't telling the full truth. Bad deals, broken trust, and the dirty mechanics of the rap industry. Let's break down what really happened. Before we even get into the Offset and Wack 100 situation, there's something crucial people need to understand about this game. The business side of the music industry is ice cold. No emotions, no mercy, and Offset knows that better than most. From the outside, it looks like rappers are just getting rich. Foreign cars, chains, bottles, non-stop wins. But that image is a lie. Behind the scenes, labels and managers run plays every single day, exploiting youth, hunger, and desperation.
at first, my first.
When you're young and trying to escape your circumstances, you'll sign almost anything put in front of you. Offset admitted this himself during his Club Shay Shay interview. He spoke openly about how young artists get locked into deals that follow them for years. And this part matters because it explains everything that comes next. Offset wasn't just talking about his own situation, he was exposing the system. The same system that made people instantly believe there might be smoke between him and Wack 100 when this story started circulating. Why? Because Wack has been accused for years of using the same playbook labels have been running since the Motown era.
My own.
Here's the finesse. The album drops. The label makes $2–3 million. Even after they recoup what they advanced you, you're still in debt because every expense gets charged back to your account. That's the game, and it's been happening for decades. And that context brings us directly to Wack 100. Wack has been in the industry a long time. He's managed high-profile artists like The Game and Blueface. He's deeply connected in West Coast music and street politics. Everybody knows him, and he knows everybody. But when it comes to contracts and business dealings, his reputation has been under scrutiny for years.
What is going on with 42 Dugg and you? He clapped back. You said Offset ran his pockets in the studio.
That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I said you tried to leave the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. He was walking.
Every time his name comes up, the same questions resurface, raised by DJ academics and multiple industry sources. And that's exactly why this story caught fire so fast. Speaking on the situation, Wack allegedly signed Blueface to a deal structure that took a staggering 70% of his total earnings. How is that even possible? Simple. Wack positioned himself as both the label and the manager. As the label, he took 50% of everything Blueface made. As the manager, he allegedly took another 20% on top of that. A massive cut. DJ academics called it double dipping, a clear conflict of interest where nobody in the room is actually protecting the artist. If the same person is negotiating the deal and profiting from it, who's really looking out for the artist? The answer is nobody. But here's where the real tension between Offset and Wack 100 comes in, and it has nothing to do with contracts or business disputes. This situation got personal, very personal. See, Wack 100 had a relationship with Cardi B that actually predates her even knowing Offset. They go way back, and Wack has always shown respect toward Cardi. So when Offset and Cardi's issues played out publicly across social media and entertainment news, Wack found himself pulled directly into the middle, whether he wanted to be or not.
Tapping pockets is like, I'm gonna rob you, but it's like
No,
metaphorically, I'm like figuring out if you have anything to steal.
42 Dugg had a bunch of money in both his pockets. You know, he got skinny jeans on, so bulging out his pockets. Offset didn't take too kind to him walking away from the dice game when it was Offset dice. He was hitting 20,000.
So you can't just walk away from the dice game? No. That's a violation.
Here's where things get interesting. Wack openly admitted on camera that he had information that could have seriously damaged Offset's reputation, but he chose not to release it. He consciously kept it contained. Why? Out of respect for Cardi B and their long-standing relationship. But before deciding to hold back, Wack had already gone public once. He posted on his Instagram story, calling Offset out and saying, "Lil weird ass, I told you, keep me out your emotional shit." And this is where everything spiraled. Blueface, Wack's own artist, put out extremely damaging allegations about Offset, claiming he allegedly hooked up with Chrisean Rock while still married to Cardi B. The timing made it explosive, considering everything already going on between Blueface and Chrisean at the time. Offset was heated. He immediately called Wack, demanding he control his artist and shut it down before more information leaked. Offset believed Wack had given Blueface the green light, but Wack maintains to this day that he had no knowledge of it beforehand, that Blueface acted on his own, without consulting him.
See, studios, that gate don't open on motion. You gotta open from inside the building. Offset jumps up and trails behind him. I come behind him. I got a few of the schoolyards with me, because we on tour. Offset walks right up, and Doug's walking away from him, grabs his left pocket. Some money bulging out of it. He didn't take the money out of his pocket, right? I don't know if he was attempting to take it or he was just trying to turn him around or what it was. Nevertheless, Dugg ends up turning around. When he turned around, Offset fired.
In the face.
Right in the face.
Blueface was moving independently, making his own decisions. And here's the key part. Wack was initially ready to step back completely and let Blueface expose everything he had. Wack was fed up with being blamed for something he claims he didn't orchestrate. Then everything changed. Cardi B personally called Wack. She told him they were already separated, that she didn't want to be dragged into it, and respectfully asked him to contain the situation. Out of respect for their friendship, Wack agreed. That's why the Offset Cardi Wack situation eventually cooled down. Cardi stepping in de-escalated it. But that's not the part that had the streets talking. Because next, we have to talk about the infamous dice game incident. The moment that allegedly sparked everything and pushed this situation into a completely different territory. All right, this is where we get to the real core of the situation.
So Offset says, nah, Unc is right. I gotta respect what he's saying. They go back in the building. I tell them, open the motherfucking, that's from Offset. See the date, scroll down.
Wednesday.
That's Dugg doing his rant. What the fuck did Offset say to me?
Why this N-word lying? Oh.
See, one thing about Wack, I got the content. I recited everything that happened.
The story that's been told, retold, denied, confirmed, and argued across hip-hop podcasts and social media for years. The dice game that allegedly started everything. We're talking about the infamous 2019 dice game at QC Studios involving Offset and 42 Dugg. Wack 100 was there that night, and he's been the main narrator of this story ever since, repeating the same version across multiple interviews and podcast appearances. According to Wack, here's what actually happened. First, something important needs to be clarified. Wack never said Offset outright robbed 42 Dugg. That's not his claim. What he said was that Offset tried to check Dugg for leaving the dice game early, right when Offset was on a hot streak and it was his turn to roll. That distinction matters. Let's break down the sequence.
Listen, I can show you just prior to that, Offset cussing me out.
For what?
Cause of the Blueface shit. Cussing me the f out, going crazy on me.
But no love lost, because when the Dugg thing came up, he was...
No, but it's gonna lead to this. What does he say? You my what?
You my uncle.
It was 2019, the final night of Lil Baby's tour stop in Atlanta. Wack brought Blueface to QC Studios to record a song with Offset. That was the entire reason they were there. Wack called Pierre P to open the studio so they could get the session done. Now, for anyone unfamiliar with dice game etiquette, this is serious street code. When someone is hot, hitting their numbers, building momentum, You don't grab your money and leave. That's considered disrespect to the shooter and the entire game. You stay, you let them finish their role. According to Wack's account, that's where things escalated. Wack says Offset followed 42 Dugg outside and reached toward his pocket, where the money was visibly bulging through his jeans. Dugg turned around, and Offset allegedly punched him clean in the face. One punch. Then Wack says he paused, counting in his head to see if Dugg would react. 1,000, 1,000, nothing. No swing back, no retaliation. And that moment changed the entire narrative. Because later, when 42 Dugg went live on Instagram, calling Wack a liar and denying the story, Wack responded in a way nobody expected.
And I was by myself with $100,000. They tried me, bro. Right or wrong, they tried me. They surrounded me, told me, I ain't giving a rich nigga shit. And my mama can die right now.
Where me and you and Squeeze catch niggas at, dog?
Got it. My mama could die if I'm lying, bro. I didn't get them niggas a dime, bro. And I was by myself, got it. Who you know doing that? Who you know leaving somewhere with 100,000 surrounded by 12 niggas rolls and leave out that bitch with all his money, all his dirt?
He pulled up direct messages from Offset himself, and that's where this story stopped being rumor and turned into something much harder to dismiss. Offset confirmed Wack's version of events through direct messages. After 42 Dugg went public claiming the incident never happened, Offset messaged Wack, asking why Dugg was lying. That message alone directly backed up and co-signed everything Wack had been saying about that night, completely contradicting Dugg's public denial. But 42 Dugg wasn't accepting that narrative. He went live on Instagram and told a totally different version of events, going as far as putting his mother's life on it. In street culture, that's as serious as it gets. You don't invoke your mom unless you're claiming absolute truth. Dugg said he didn't lose a single dollar, walked out with all his money, all his jewelry, still on him.
And in 2023, when did it really start to fall apart?
It wasn't
obviously
really,
before then.
I think things on the business side wasn't turning to my favor. I wanted, I got kids. You know what I mean? I got kids, a family, and I'm just getting older and more smart, paying more attention to my money, my finances, and felt like I wanted a bigger piece.
Sure.
Not from them, but from the business.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement to make on camera, for the whole world to see. But he didn't stop there. Dugg started hinting that retaliation allegedly happened after that night. And even DJ Academics, someone who's known and worked with Wack for years, admitted he can't fully verify every detail of Wack's version anymore. That uncertainty fueled years of speculation. People tried tying everything together. The business disputes, the street politics, personal relationships, using it all to explain why Migos eventually split. Conspiracy theories were everywhere.
Is that true to you and Sweetie?
No, man. It was a rumor, man, and I feel like it was something deeper than that for the split of me and bro. It was something deeper than that, you know what I mean? It was something deep.
But Offset himself shut that down. When Keke Palmer asked him directly in 2023 about the breakup, Offset was blunt. It wasn't ego. It wasn't female drama. It wasn't Quavo wanting to be the star. It was business. Offset wanted a bigger share of what the group was generating. The structure they were under didn't allow that. He had a family to feed and needed to see real growth financially.
Sweetie is not the reason that Offset and Quavo are no longer friends, nor is she the reason that Cardi B and Offset divorced. Offset sat down with Keke Palmer on This Is Keke Palmer and talked about that rumor that has been circulating. Let's take a listen.
On The Breakfast Club, they broke down Offset's interview and addressed the rumors head on. Offset even suggested that outside business interests were actively working to create division, keeping family members separated so control and money stayed where it already was. And once you understand that, everything about this situation starts to look very different.
People was trying to tear my situation down in that situation. And
You think there were business people that were plotting on you both?
for sure.
Yeah, and they were creating you guys, stopping you guys from being strong so that y'all couldn't go together against that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would be seeing headlines and we men, so we don't play those games. We don't even know how to do it.
This all circles back to what we said at the very beginning. The industry is designed to keep artists divided, because divided artists can't fight unfair deals or exploitation together. Offset saw that pattern play out not just in his career, but inside his own family. One of the most emotional moments from Offset's recent interviews came when he spoke about Takeoff's tragic passing. For the first time, he admitted he's been carrying guilt he never shared publicly before his conversation with Keke Palmer. Offset said he sometimes wonders if things would have turned out differently had he stayed fully involved with the group instead of stepping away to handle solo business issues.
People like that pass away, especially so suddenly. It had to make you think, what did you think? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, I never really said this. I felt like I had that, some responsibility was on me, because what if I didn't go solo? What if I just thugged it out with the business not being right? You know what I mean? Maybe we wouldn't even been right there or in that place, because I just know how we move when I'm around.
When they were together, he was the one reading the room, knowing when it was time to leave before situations escalated. And he wasn't there that night. On top of that internal guilt, he had to deal with people online pushing false narratives, claiming he and Takeoff weren't even on good terms. That speculation only made an already painful situation worse. Now that we've laid everything out, the industry finesse Offset described, the Cardi B and Blueface drama that pulled Wack into the picture, the infamous Dice Game story, the Migos split, and Offset finally speaking his truth. Let's answer the original question. When it comes to the Dice Game, Wack showed Offset's actual DMs, confirming his version of events and directly contradicting what 42 Dugg was claiming.
I believe hip-hop.
Offset wasn't beefing with Wack over that story, he was co-signing it. And before we close this out, there's one last thing Offset said that matters. Despite all the drama, the business issues, and personal loss, he still believes in hip-hop and his place in it. That's the mindset of someone who's been through the fire and kept going. Offset is still here, still learning, still moving smarter, and that's the full breakdown. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you believe in this situation, Wack or Dugg? And do you think the industry is still finessing artists the same way Offset described early in his career? If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe, share it, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you in the next deep dive.